Hello everyone, good morning to all. Welcome to the new session of e-learning class of UN Autonomous College of Science and Technology. I am Rasmi Ranjan Mishra, lecturer of UN Autonomous College of Science and Technology. Today I am going to discuss in front of you relating to human resource management. So on today's discussion our topic is related to methods of performance appraisal. So now I am going to represent in front of you various methods relating to performance appraisal, how the performance evaluation can be made of an employee in an organization, that we will discuss one by one. So listen carefully and watch my video. Performance appraisal. First we have to know that what do you mean by performance appraisal. Already we have discussed in our last class relating to the meaning, basic concept, objectives of a performance appraisal. Now I can remind you, performance appraisal can be described as a systematic evaluation of performance of several employees so that they can understand all abilities of a person and their development and growth. Performance appraisal is also done in a very systematic manner, which includes measuring the pay of employees and comparing it with all plans and targets. So briefly I am discussing you or remind you what do you mean by performance appraisal. Performance appraisal stands for evaluating the performance of an employee or evaluating the performance of several employees in an organization in terms of qualitative and quantitative. That means when one employee's assessment can be made by a rater in terms of a qualitative point of view or in quantitative point of view for his or her the growth and development to the organization or to the company, then that can be termed as performance appraisal. So this can be made only to assess the performance of an employee with relate to a particular organization or performance of several employees in an organization or in a company, only to assess the growth potentiality or the knowledge and skill acquiring capabilities in order to assess the promotion or increment of a salary or any other benefits in terms of a future period of time. So how that performance appraisal can be made? What are the various methods relating to performance appraisal, that we will discuss one by one. So basically there are two main methods of evaluating the performance of an employee. That first one is traditional methods, the second one is modern method. So we will discuss one by one what is traditional method or what are the various methods coming under traditional and what are the various methods that is coming under modern. So there are different methods that is coming under traditional methods. 11 methods are there. We will discuss one by one. The first one is ranking method, second one is paired comparison method, third one is grading method, the fourth one is forced distribution method, then the forced choice method, sixth one is checklist method, then 7 critical incidents method, then 8 one is graphic rating scale method, then number 9 that is essay method, number 10 that is field review method, and the last one is that is confidential method or confidential report. So one by one we will discuss what is that. The first one is ranking method. It is the oldest and simplest formal systematic method of performance appraisal in which employee is compared with all others for the purpose of placing order of worth. The employees are ranked from the highest to the lowest or from the best to the worst. So ranking means the rater assess the employee in terms of a grading system or a ranking system. That means either that is from highest to the lowest point or that is from best to the worst point. So this is the simplest form or the oldest form of systematic method of evaluation or systematic assessment of a performance appraisal in which the employee is compared with all others for the assessment of a placing order of a worth. That means when one rater in an organization assess the evaluate the performance of an employee with relation to several employees or other employees in the organization, and accordingly the rank is made by the rater, that is called as a ranking method. And basically the rater rank either from highest to the lowest point, or the rater rank from best point to worst point. So this is the very systematic and oldest method and the formal method in which ranking is made. The second one is paired comparison. In this method, each employee is compared with other employee on one basis. So paired means one employee is compared with the other 1-to-1 basis. That's why it is called as a paired comparison. And the rater is provided with a bunch of slips, each containing pair of names. The rater puts a tick mark against the employee whom he considers the better of the two. That means when two employees are compared with each other, and in accordingly the rater is provided with a bunch of slips where every information is provided to the rater relating to the data of that particular two employees, and the rater puts a tick mark against that two employee and assess the performance. In that case, that is called as a paired comparison method of evaluating the performance of an employee or several employees. Then the next method, that is called as grading method. In this method, certain categories of worth are established in advance and carefully defined. That means the rater advancedly determine everything relating to a particular category or certain category, and that must have been clearly or carefully defined by the rater. There can be 3 categories established for employees, as it is called as grading system. So the grade is made, and accordingly 3 category of grade is made for the employee. One is relating to outstanding, second one is satisfactory, and the third one is unsatisfactory. The employee is then allocated to the grade. Accordingly, the performance made by the employee in the organization, the rater assess or grade whether maybe that employee outstanding category, or maybe satisfactory, or maybe unsatisfactory. The employee is then allocated to the grade that best describe his or her performance. Those employees, they are in the outstanding grade, that means they are having the highest level of performance, and those are unsatisfactory grade, then that means they are neither performing very well or they are neither contributing the better satisfaction to the organization. Then the fourth method, that is called as a post distribution method. This method assumes that employees' performance level conforms to a normal statistical distribution. So post distribution means the rater or the employee's performance that conforms to a particular satisfaction distribution. That means 10% low, 20% below average, 40% average, 20% above average, and 10% high. So accordingly the percentage is assigned, and based upon that the rater assess the performance. This is useful for rating a large number of employees' job performance. So when there are a large number of employees in an organization and it is very difficult to assess the performance of employees, so accordingly a statistical distribution method should be implemented, and that is called as the post distribution method, in which the percentage is allocated to every point of level, and accordingly the rater will assess the each and every employee's performance. So basically in case of a large number of employees job performance and a probability, that method is basically suitable, and it tends to eliminate or reduce bias. So when this method is implemented, there is no chance of a bias implementation, or the elimination of a bias is basically reduced to certain extent. Then the fifth method, that is called as a forced choice method. Under this method, the rater is forced to answer the ready-made statement as given in the blocks of 2 or more about the employees in terms of true or false. That means to the rater information is provided, and that is in the form of ready-made information, and the rater is forced to answer the ready-made information which is given in the slip, and that is given in the block of 2 or more, and employees about the employees in terms of a true or false statement. Once the rater is done with that particular list, that is directly handed over to the HR department for final assessment of the employees. So after carefully designed or assessed by the rater, then the rater directly hand over that statements to the HR department of an organization, and finally the HR department assess the performance of an employee. Then the next one is checklist method. The basic purpose of utilizing checklist method is easy to evaluate the burden of the rater. That means it is very easy, and there are several information is provided on the basis of checklist. So in this method, a series of a statement, that is question with their answer in terms of yes or no, are prepared by the HR department. So HR department carefully design the question, and relating to the question answer is also provided, either that is yes or no, and based upon that the checklist is then presented to the rater. After carefully designed by the HR department, then that is directly transferred to the rater, and based upon that checklist the rater pick the appropriate answer relevant to the appraisee or relevant to the employee. Each question carries certain weightage in relation to the performance of the employees. So that's why it is called as a checklist method. Then the next one is critical incident method. This method requires the rater to record the statement which describe extremely good or bad behavior relating to the job performance. As it is critical incident, that means the information is provided to the employee, and that is very brief explanation of what happened by the employee relating to the organization, and accordingly the rater will assess either maybe the good or bad behavior of employees relating to the job performance. The statements are called as critical incidents and are usually recorded by the supervisor during the evaluation period. So critical incident method is usually implemented, and that will be evaluated by the rater and directly recorded by the supervisor during the evaluation period for each subordinates. Recorded incident means that includes a brief explanation of what happened by the employee to the organization relating to current period or relating to the past period. Then the next one is graphic rating scale method. So in this case the rating is made on a graph basis, either that is poor or fairly good or excellent, like that, and under each category the information is clearly assessed by the rater, and directly a tick mark is obtained, whether may be that related to good or that related to excellent, whatever may be. Each and every employee's assessment is made in terms of every point of view. That means relating to their attendance, relating to their sincerity and punctuality, relating to the behavioral performance, everything, whether that is maybe good or maybe excellent or fairly good or poor or fairly poor. Accordingly the graph will be made. So the graphic rating scale is one of the most popular and simplest technique for appraising the performance of an employee. It is also known as linear rating scale. In this method, the printed appraisal form is used to appraise each employee. So a printed form that is directly provided to the rater by the HR department, and based upon that printed appraisal form, the rater evaluates the performance of employees relating to every activities. Then the next one is essay method. This method is the simplest one among the various appraisal methods. In this method, the rater writes a narrative description on an employee's strength, weakness, past performance, potential, suggestion for improvement. That means when the rater is assess the evaluation or the performance of an employee, so based upon that the rater directly narrates a narrative description about the strength, weakness, or relating to the past performance or relating to the potential ability or any suggestion in the form of an essay for a further improvement. And its positive point is that it is very simple to use, and it does not require complex format and extensive or specific training to complete it. So this is very useful and suitable method having very positive impact. That's why the rater directly narrate the performance of an employee from every point of view in the form of an essay, and directly then it will be transferred to the HR department for a final result or final submission. Or the next one is field review method. This is an appraisal which is done by someone outside employees or own department, usually from corporate or HR department. As it is field review, that means someone from outside the organization is recruited or assess the performance of an employee or relating to one department or several department not belongs to the direct department of the organization, or maybe the HR department is responsible for assessing the performance of the employee, or the appraisal is done basically not from the same department but from the other department or the HR department. What is the advantages of this method? Basically, it is useful for managerial level of a promotion. So when there is a chance of a promotion in the managerial cadre, so in that case the field review method is made. When comparable information is needed, in this case the field review method is very suitable. But certain disadvantages is that outsider is generally not aware about the employee's work environment, or observation of actual behavior is also not possible by the outside rater or by the outside employees. Then the last, that is called as a confidential report method. It is the traditional way of appraising the employees, mainly in the government department. Basically, the confidential report method is used by several government departments for appraising the employees. Evaluation is made by the immediate boss or the supervisor for giving effect to promotion and a transfer. So when there is a case of a promotion, or there is a case of a transfer or increment or any other benefits made to the employees in an organization, basically the immediate boss or supervisor appraise the employees in confidential report method. Usually a structured format is devised to collect the information on employees' strength, weakness, intelligence, attitude, character, attendance, discipline, everything. So this form of evaluating the performance of an employee is basically made in a structured format by the immediate superior or immediate boss or by the supervisor, basically taking into consideration various parts relating to the employees. That means employees' strength or weakness should be taken into consideration, the intelligence ability, the attitude, behavioral ability, character, discipline, attendance, everything should be taken into consideration, and based upon that information a report is prepared confidentially by the immediate superior or immediate boss or by the supervisor, and based upon that whether that employee is eligible for promotion or transfer, or there is a chance of increment of their salary or not, can be made on the basis of that confidential report. So these are the various several methods which I discussed relating to the traditional method of a performance appraisal. Now we are going to discuss the modern methods of a performance appraisal. Basically there are 5 methods of modern methods relating to the performance appraisal of an employees. One is MBO, management by objectives. Second one is BARS, that is behavioral anchored rating scale. The third one is assessment center. Then fourth one is 360-degree appraisal. Then the fifth one is human resource accounting. So we will discuss one by one. The first one is management by objectives. What is meant by MBO and how that can be implemented for assessing the performance of an employee. The concept of MBO can be described as a process whereby the superior and subordinate manager of an organization jointly identify its common goal, define each individual's major area for responsibility in terms of a result expected of him, and use these measures as a guide for operating unit and assessing the contribution of each of members. So management by objectives, that means superior and subordinate manager of an organization, they jointly identify the common goal of the organization and based upon that define each individual's major role or responsibility towards the assessment of or towards the achievement of the result expected by the organization. So individual major area for responsibility should be taken into consideration and that should be compared in terms of the result expected by the organization, and this taken into consideration as a measure or as a guide for operating unit, and also this is used for assessing the contribution made by each of the members towards the organization. Then the second method, that is behavioral anchored rating scale. So what is that? This method is designed to bring the benefits both in qualitative and quantitative data, taking into consideration the evaluation of an employee. So we must consider both qualitative information and quantitative information. As it is performance appraisal, that means evaluating the performance of an employee in qualitative term as well as quantitative term. So behavioral anchor rating scale should be taken into consideration, or this should be designed in such a way so as to bring the benefit both in qualitative and quantitative data to the employee's appraisal process. So behavioral rating scale compare an individual performance against a specific example. Organization or the rater should take a specific situation or take a specific example, and that should be taken or compare with individual's performance of a behavior, and that are anchored on a numerical basis or numerical rating. So this is one example of a behavioral anchored rating scale. Rating example. This indicates the appropriate level of performance of each other factor. What is the quality of work? The quality of work may be volume, low or erratic, or satisfactory, or above expectation. Accordingly, the behavioral rating should be made, or that is result always accurate, or result accurate and thorough, or result generally inaccurate, or that is not enough. Then based upon that, the judgment should be made whether that is systematically, analytically good with a complex contribution or complex problem, or practically judgment that solves the problem, or that does not always show good judgment, or problem analysis not always adequate. Accordingly, based upon this, the rating should be made based the behavior of an employee relating to the performance with the situation. Then the third method, that is called as a assessment center. What is that? It is a central location where the managers may come together to participate in job related exercise evaluated by the trained observers. So basically the trained observers are associated, and they evaluate the performance of the employee, and the managers, they come together with one place. That's why it is called as assessment, and they assess the performance of each and every employee which is evaluated by the trained observers. The principal idea is to evaluate the managers over a period of time by observing the latter evaluating the behavior. First they observe that, later they will evaluate the behavior of each and every employee. Then the fourth method, that is called as a 360-degree appraisal method. In 360-degree appraisal system, an employee is appraised by his superior or supervisor, subordinates, peers, as well as the customers with whom that employee interacts in the course of his job performance. That means the performance or the evaluation or the appraisal can be made from all point of view as a whole. That's why it is called as a 360-degree. That means appraisal system can be made from superior point of view, from subordinates point of view, from peers or colleagues point of view, as well as from customer point of view, relating to the course of the job performance of an employee. And all these appraisers, they provide information or they provide the feedback of an employee or on an employee. All the appraisers, those are associated, they finally provide all the information which is assessed by them, or the feedback that will be provided on an employee to the organization, and by completing a survey questionnaire designed for this purpose. That means a questionnaire is allotted to that raters, and they will assess, they will survey based upon that questionnaire which is designed for the 360-degree appraisal method. Then the last one is, that is human resource accounting. In this case, the employee's cost and contribution will be taken into consideration. That means how much amount of money should be made for the employee's performance, and how much contribution or benefit that will be derived by the employee should be taken into consideration to assess the performance of the employee. If the cost is more than the benefit, in that case the evaluation or the performance is not so good, or that shows unsatisfactory. And if benefit is more than the cost which is incurred by the organization for the employee, in that case that shows satisfactory performance. So human resource method that attaches money value to the value of a firm internal human resource as well as external customer goodwill. So under this method, the performance is judged in terms of a cost and contribution of an employee. Difference between the cost and the contribution will reflect the performance of an employee. That means the cost means the amount of expenditure which is incurred for the development or the growth of the employee, and the benefit means the contribution which is made by the employee for the well-being of the organization. So the cost and the contribution, that should be taken into consideration and compare, and accordingly the performance of the employee can be judged. Difference may show satisfactory performance or unsatisfactory performance. So these are the various methods relating to the performance appraisal, where different methods can be implemented by the HR department or by the different rater to assess the performance of an employee in terms of organization growth and development relating to the future period of time. So this is our today's discussion relating to different methods of performance appraisal. Hope you students almost clear about this. Still, if you have any doubt, then you can give your comment in the comment section. Thank you. Have a good day to all of you.